Hello and welcome. I'm Karjan, and this is Let's Art Operation Blinking Mirror Edition. So we're in the process of refining our lines. And I'm almost finished with Flik's clothing lines, which will allow me to erase quite a bit of the body lines. And it's really cases like that that I keep the duplicate files for. So let's get right back into it. Yes, this is still the same day, so it is possible my neck is not better. Definitely not better. So it's still possible that something may crack when it's not supposed to. Other than that, let's see. Yeah, it's about as good as I'm gonna get. I should really probably make some of my own brushes to better simulate some of the look that I want. But I'm a little bit too lazy for that. No matter how much I pretend otherwise, I'm actually a very lazy person when it comes right down to it. So I was talking last video about my video game habit. So I could probably continue that. I'm really not I don't buy into the console war at all. At all. Ever. I have one simple rule that I tend to live by, and that's basically a console has to have either a game from a very specific series that I follow. For example, if Suikoden 6 ever comes out, I will immediately buy the console that it will come out on if I do not already have it. No matter what my opinion on that console or the other games on that console actually is, I will just buy the console just to get the game. Another example is Zelda. I quite literally got the Wind Waker bundle just to get my hands on the remade Wind Waker game. which I feel is very brilliant, by the way, especially considering that my major complaint with the game, which was, oh dear lord, I have to sail all the way over to X island, crossing the entire map, and I'm gonna end up spending like 20 minutes doing that, was pretty much solved by the fact that it doesn't take that long to sail anywhere anymore, especially if you get the super sail. Let's see. Let's see. There's actually a strap right here in his design. Do this. Yeah, forgot the fact that there's a strap on the inside. That this is basically a belt sort of thing. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of rivet or button looking things that are right here. So yes, one of my criteria to buy a console is, does it have a game series on it that I really, really, really like? Currently, I think the only series that sells consoles for me is Zelda and Suikoden. Oh, right. Shin Megami Tensei also holds the same opinion, same place in my heart. All the various Shin Megami Tensei games, which includes Persona. It also includes the similar games, such as Digital Devil Saga, which isn't quite a Shin Megami Tensei, but it's got the same, and it uses the same general There's also one here. Digital Devil Saga is not quite the same as Shin Megami Tensei or any of the Persona series, but it is something that I do enjoy because it's got the same style of really twisted worlds and morality and kind of creepy. And honestly, it's one of the only series of games that really pushes that case of, oh, these are some really interesting questions and the like. it is one of the things that I like the most about the Shin Megami series, is that the games make you think. They're not just fun. They actually have things like morality and the like in them, where you have to think a little bit about what you've just witnessed, or what the characters have just done, or what you've made the characters do, because it's the best of equally poor choices. Because there are a lot of very poor choices in almost every Shin Megami game. I know I recently finished Persona 3, and I made sure when finishing it that I actually played the quote-unquote bad end, which is actually a very bad end, that you have the option to take at the very end of the game. I mean, you make it through the whole game, and then you get this choice, and this choice is a pretty brutal choice, and it leads to a pretty brutal bad end. At least that's my opinion of the whole thing. It made me feel like an utter ass when I played it. When I chose that bad end. And then of course I played it through the right way, and even that leaves you feeling kind of sick. Because it is the best option, but it's not a happy option. No matter how you look at it, it's not a happy option. It's the only option that works, though. So... let's see. Another game that I really enjoyed. Nier on the Xbox. The first time through the game is really kind of, oh, this is a fairly standard game. I mean, it's a little bit creepy. But you know, there's not really anything that really stands out. It's just a fairly traditional story of, you know, father trying to, well, the American version is a father trying to save his daughter. And you go around kicking bad guys' ass and all that other, you know, traditional RPG stuff. And then you play it through the second time. And then the guilt starts kicking in. Because now you can understand what your enemies are saying. And suddenly those enemies that previously, you know, it was no biggie to kill these things because, well, they're just mindless enemies. You know, they're grumbling and muttering words that you can't understand, but they're just mindless enemies. And you can understand what they're saying. And suddenly they're no longer mindless enemies. And I think the way I ended up describing it to one of my friends was you know, after I had finished it the second time through, I basically ended up describing it as, you know, I feel like I shot Bambi's mother, served her for dinner, and invited Bambi over. That's pretty much how I felt after playing through the second time. That was... yeah. That was pretty much my whole opinion on that. So I do suggest playing that if you haven't played it. I liked it a lot. Definitely make sure you play it through twice. For any of you who are worrying playing it through twice because you've played it through once, playing it through the second time does not require you to play through that very annoying first section of the game. You actually skip that. You actually skip that and you go straight on to the second half of the game. So, there it is that, rather. Because the first part of the game is very slow and kind of annoying to play through. But you only have to do it once. And then never again after that. And I'm aware that his hand is not really that good. I'm not good at hands. So part of me isn't even really trying. I know that's kind of sad to say, but it's true. Part of me isn't really even trying. I guess it looks okay. But it's nothing spectacular. Then again, I think most people have issues with hands, so... Okay. That just about gets it, yeah. Okay. It's not that one. Not that one. Definitely not that one. Oh wow. That looks a whole lot worse than I thought it did. Okay. Let's see here. If I make these a bit straighter. And some of this problem is that there's no shading on it, which means that I'm getting an odd feeling off of the hand because I can't. Because my mind isn't properly connecting them. Oh boy. Let's see. Other games I enjoy, since that seems to be what my talking point is right now. What's the game called? Last Odyssey, I think it is. Yeah. With the Immortals. With the Immortals, Kaim and Sarah and Seth and Ming. This is probably going to be the best I can do with the hand before I get too frustrated. I don't want to be spending too much time on this, so I can quite easily spend hours just fiddling over the same piece of lines. So, yeah, I think this is going to be... Although I think I'll define the thumb a bit more. That's why the thumb looks off. Yeah, I drew it too long. So yes, Last Odyssey, I believe the game is called. I really enjoyed that one. That was another one I couldn't exactly call some of the plot points. I could call quite a few of them, but not all of them. And I enjoy that when the makers of a game make something that I can't just call the ending plot points from the very beginning. From the very beginning of the game. I mean, doing that usually doesn't mean I'm going to put the game down, but it does make my enjoyment a little bit less. Than it could otherwise be. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. It could be a lot worse. Let's see. Okay, I really don't need those lines at all. Nor those lines. Is there... Yeah, there's a little bit of... That is part of the problem with doing it like this, is that I get random stray pixels in places where they shouldn't be. Like here. And I need to clean that up. Because they're amazingly visible when you're actually trying to save something. And you usually don't spot them until right before the end. And then you have to redo everything. And it's just such a spectacularly fun adventure to go in and erase things without messing up anything else. These lines are a bit too thick, I think. I try to keep the line width about equal. Except in certain situations. Okay. Now, here we go. Expand this so I can just cleanly erase. Cleanly erase quite a bit. Okay, now shrink that back down and refine my lines. And I'm going to keep this little bit of the eyes and the eyebrow. Because that's a rather anime sort of thing to do, is to keep that. Smooth that out a little bit. Erase that, and you can see now I've revealed more little pieces. And thin the line of the chin down. Right, that's the ears, so there actually needs to be some squiggles over here. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. I did miss a little bit of it up there. There we go. Add a little bit more definition to parts of the hair. Oops. Take off a little bit too much. I don't feel like going back. And then I end up doing it anyway. Okay. So that pretty much finishes up him. So I think I'm going to call it here and move on to the squirrels next video. I'll see you next time.